In the past few years, there has been a myth floating around about video games, from concerned parents to the media. The myth being that video games are bad for one's mental health. This, however, is not the case. In fact, one's mental health can be greatly helped by video games. I, for one, can give anecdotal evidence after having been diagnosed with PTSD, as it has helped me personally cope with my experiences and be able to channel my mental anxieties in a safe way. PTSD is a pandemic in and of itself amongst military members throughout the world. They can be afflicted with PTSD through any number of traumatic experiences and events, from being in firefights to traumatizing sensory experiences. Contrary to what one may initially think, war games such as the popular Call of Duty franchise serve as a treatment for combat veterans suffering from PTSD through something called exposure therapy. Exposure therapy is a type of therapy that forces one person to confront traumatic experiences in attempts to fully process said experience. This is not the only way it can be used therapeutically, however. Video games can also help with a person's gray matter production. Gray matter houses most of the brain's neuronal cell bodies, which are responsible for a multitude of functions. These functions affect sensory perception, memory, muscle control, the list goes on. The loss of this matter, however, has been associated with a plethora of mental illnesses, including Alzheimer's. Three-dimensional platforming video games, such as Super Mario 64, have been proven to help with the growth of hippocampal gray matter in those who play the video games through spatial learning. Spatial learning being a person's ability to process visual information of the world surrounding them. Some people, however, have trouble fitting in with the world that surrounds them, causing depression and anxiety. Video games have offered a means of inclusion and a social interaction for those who are suffering from these mental illnesses. Everything is online these days, and video games are no exception to this. Online video games offer social interaction through playing in cooperative environments, having to communicate with one another to complete a common goal. Many people, including I, make great friendships while playing video games, and we often get together and play games regularly. Given the current state of the world with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, video games are a growing hot commodity for people everywhere. Those unfortunately suffering from PTSD are stuck in isolation with their inner demons. Older generations trapped in retirement homes, suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia. They're not getting the social interactions that keep their minds healthy and active. The growing isolation for those who struggle with depression and anxiety can no doubt be worsening their conditions. At the start of this pandemic, people were buying video games and consoles to the point where they were nearly impossible to find, and they still are nearly impossible to find. No doubt to avoid many of the issues outlined.